presenting is so fucking hard. I don't know how people do this stuff like Buba Bonang and whatever. I don't know how people do it. It's so fucking hard. Like, wow. Okay. What's poppin'? Welcome back to the Sneaker Club. If you're new here, this is a channel that's all about sneakers and sneaker culture. So if that sounds good to you, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends as well. And let's get to talking, people. With the return of sport to our screens, I figured that we should go down memory lane and go through a timeline of sneakers in sport history throughout the 1900s.
Let's go!
We've got a lot of fun facts to go through today, so hopefully you guys will find this really educational and informative. I discovered a whole bunch of new stuff along the way, so hopefully you will too. Our first stop is 1917, when the Converse All-Stars were born. Several years later, they were endorsed by Indiana hoop star Chuck Taylor and became known as the Chuck Taylor All-Stars, and became one of the best-selling sneakers of all time. In the 1920s, the German brothers Rudolf and Adolf Dassler joined the game, creating footwear specifically designed for athletes. As you may have seen in my previous videos, the Dassler brothers actually separated and eventually created Adidas and Puma. If you want to know more about the history of those brands, feel free to jump onto the links in the corner here and watch for more. The 1930s were actually a catalyst to popularizing sneakers, most especially because of the 1936 Olympics, where the US basketball team actually wore Converse sneakers all throughout the tournament, and runner Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals wearing Adidas track shoes. From the 40s onwards, the younger generations took a stand and started to actually wear sneakers more for their lifestyle and streetwear rather than sport, and this brought the birth of many brands such as Diadora, Onitsuka Tiger, and Puma. With the arrival of the 1950s, running shoes continued to advance in their evolution with the addition of spikes for sprinting specific shoes. So think about those shoes that like your Usain Bolts and your runners wear during the 100-meter sprints. Come the 1960s, the first sneaker to have ripple soles was born, which is the New Balance Trackstar, as well as brands such as Nike and Vans were born during that time. In addition to all of this, the sport of tennis skyrocketed in popularity when it came to the United States, which created a whole new mass market for these sneaker brands, including most especially tennis shoes. When you think the 1970s, you think a lot about like Silicon Valley and like the advancements that they did in terms of technology. Because of those technological advancements, in the 1970s, sneakers found themselves having a greater boom because now there was so much technology out there to actually advance athletic footwear for sports and most especially for brands just from a lifestyle and a streetwear perspective. But it was the 1980s and the 1990s that was really the key to success when it came to sneaker culture, because brands started to tie themselves to household names, and because of that, sales grew and it really truly became something that was for the masses. Since the 1980s and the 1990s, brands have gone on to collaborate with sporting stars even more. For example, if you look at Nike, they've got Michael Jordan, he's given us Air Jordan. There's Tiger Woods in terms of like a golfing endorsement. There's your LeBron James and your Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant has given us the Mamba, and we just had Mamba Week just the other week. And they've released some really great stuff. And then, for example, there's also Kevin Durant with the Nike KD Weatherman, which is actually considered to be a big classic in terms of like basketball shoes. If you look at a brand like a Reebok as well, you've got like your Allen Iverson with the Question Low. They've got your Shaquille O'Neal with the Shaqnosis. They've got Sean Kemp with the Kamikaze. They've even done an endorsement deal with Venus Williams. She had one of the biggest endorsement deals for a female athlete between 2000 and 2005, and that endorsement deal was actually worth $40 million if I'm not mistaken, and in today's time that's about 686 million rand, which is crazy if you think about that. Even with a brand like Adidas, they've got like David Beckham, who has a lifetime deal with Adidas. They've got someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has the Adidas Jabbar, which is actually considered to be a classic basketball shoe as well. And then there's even like your Stan Smiths. Stan Smiths are like that staple shoe for a lot of sneakerheads, and it's actually a shoe that was created for tennis initially. I mean, I can even go on into Puma as well. Like there's Guillermo Villas with the Puma Cali. There's your Walt Frazier with the Puma Clyde. There's your Usain Bolt, who has like an endorsement deal with Puma as well. Even most recently, I know that Vans is actually just partnered with Tony Hawk, who's considered to be the greatest skateboarder of all time. If you want to learn more about all of these top like sporting deals, I will leave a link in the description box below. It's a link to Complex. They made a list of the top 50 sporting endorsement deals that have happened in history, so I think it'd be a great read for you, especially if you want to learn a bit more about the subject. And then even when you just look at advancements, brands have worked so hard to like actually create shoes that are technologically evolved. The ones that I can think of off the top of my head is like the Adidas one that I've mentioned in my previous video, as well as the Puma RS computer shoe. You know, those were shoes that actually had computer chips and microcompressors so that you can record your time. The shoe can change to fit whatever setting that you're running in. It records what calories you're losing, the distance you're going, like all of those things, just so that it can help you to perform at your best. Even in 2000, I know that Nike developed a shoe with shocks, which were these pillars that kind of like absorbed the impact when you were running and also helped you to provide cushioning for your foot. I mean, what's also even crazier is that a lot of these shoes that have been developed have become like street style icons. So when you think of like Adidas, when you think of, you know, your Puma RS range, when you think of your Nike Air Max range, when you think of your Saucony running range, like those things are created specifically for athletes to perform better, but people are wearing them now because of the comfortability that comes with it as well. And with that said, we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you have any sports shoes that you really love, or there's some collaborations that have been done with sporting stars that you've also really enjoyed, please let me know. Feel free to comment and let us all know. Also, if you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like on the videos, and remember to share with your friends. Till next time, people. Mwah. Bye.